Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go through how this course is structured. This is really fun to see how the SQL DuckDB course is structured. So let's move directly on to the slides. So here I'm in the slides. So how this SQL with DuckDB course is structured. So everything can be found in the course GitHub repository. So here, this is the content of the lectures. So you have 00, intro, 01, course structure, etc. So these are the lectures, and here you also have some data that you can download and the exercises. So there's also a plan when to take each exercise, which you will see in the GitHub repository. So main content in GitHub repository, and in the GitHub repository and in each of the lectures, we have first we have usually a theory part where I'll go through slides, and then I usually have videos found in each README of each lecture, and then I usually have I usually have a coding lecture as well. You have first a theory lecture about what you're supposed to do, and then I have a coding lecture, which is a code along, so you can follow along during when I'm coding in SQL usually. And then you have exercises. So these are really good to do. In exercises, there are usually glossaries. There are theory questions and there are practical questions. So always this combination. So usually it's good to do them before you come to do at least some glossaries before you come to class, and watch the videos before you come to class if you're studying the course with me live. If you're taking this in distance remotely, then it's also good to re-watch the video several times. But we'll come back to some intention of how some study techniques for this course. So we go into the tech stack first. So we have DuckDB. This is what we work with. So DuckDB SQL. And here we'll work with the DuckDB CLI command line interface. We'll work with SQL scripts. We'll work with SQL in DuckDB. So focus of this course, DuckDB. This is dbeaver. It's an IDE, integrated development environment for SQL. So you can connect it to several databases, and one of them is DuckDB. So it works very well with DuckDB. So you connect it to DuckDB database. We will work with GitHub, of course. So you'll version control through Git. Remember that Git and GitHub are different, right? But you'll version control through Git, and then you will push the code up to your GitHub repository. You will see all the code in the GitHub repository. And if you're taking this live with me, then we will work with something called GitHub Classroom. So that I won't cover so much in this. I won't cover at all in these videos. Instead, we'll cover it in class live. But if you're just taking this remotely, you can just follow along with the GitHub repository. So we'll work a lot with Bash CLI. So it's crucial that you learn how to navigate around in your computer using Bash. So if you're in Windows, you probably will work with a Git Bash, and in Mac you can use the Z shell, and in Linux you just use the Bash terminal. And we'll work with Visual Studio Code for IDE, so integrated development environment as well. And here we will work with both Python and SQL scripts, and we will use this for organizing our files. And we'll work with Python, of course. So we will have UV for package management for our virtual environment. So this is it's built on Rust, and it's much faster than the usual one that is the usual virtual env. in Python. And there's a lot of different virtual environments in Python, but the UV works really well. And with this, we will install DuckDB. So we will be able to connect Python to DuckDB. So this will be super interesting. So you'll see how easy it is to work with DuckDB inside of Python. Yes. And here a few study technique tips. So you will get a very good overview if you study the glossary. And the tips is to learn, to study the glossary, but you don't need to learn every glossary. Just take to understand it, to see like what type of words there are. And this is quite tips that I give for all my programming classes, because programming, databases, and SQL is basically you learn a new language. You learn the terminologies there. So don't skip the glossaries. And of course, you can take an LLM such as ChatGPT for help, or another LLM, but don't copy directly. Type it out and rephrase it so that you make sure you understand the glossary. And then we have the videos. The videos you can pause and code along. This is very good. Type out the code. Don't copy paste the code. And watch several times, because there's something I will refer to as muscle memory. If you type out the code a lot of times, then it will stick. You don't need to look up each code snippet in ChatGPT. You don't need to take all these AI tools or other places and copy paste. Just type it out, and so that it sticks in your muscles. This is a very good tip. And in class, if you're taking this with me in class, then you have classmates to discuss with. You bring your questions to class. So you watch the videos before the class, bring the questions to the class. And go back, when you're doing the practical exercises, go back to watch the video, check with LLM, check resources, which I referred to. So make sure that you understand the exercises and work a lot with them, because this will help you in your journey. And the resources, skim through it. I usually resource for this course, I resource mostly to the documentation, and the documentation could be a little bit long. I think it's quite good documentation, but you may not need everything, but it's good to learn some stuff from there, so that this course can be more like a reference material for you later on as well. Yes, and with this, I would like to thank you for watching this video, and in the next video I will go into the GitHub repository to show you the structure. See you there. Bye.